Give me a little test there, Lauren. Oh, turn it on. There we go. One more time.
Testing. 1, 2, 3, testing.
Oh my God, you have sound waves! All right. Ladies and gentlemen, time for another totally awesome, exciting episode of People vs. Paranormal. We've been jiggling wires for the last hour or so trying to get this thing to work, which we can't figure out. So if this sounds like crap, I blame Tim.
Great. Thanks.
So, as always, I am your host, Ben.
I'm Tim.
I'm Anthony.
I'm Lauren.
And Lauren is new to the table. She's new to the group. And just new to PvP in general.
But seasoned as an investigator.
Yep. And Lauren has a little bit of history with the paranormal, and we're going to let her tell her story, and hopefully the audio will work this time so we can all hear it.
Yes. So, I started out getting interested in the paranormal when I was much younger than I am now. I used to stay at my grandparents' house out in Oxford, Mass. quite a bit, and I would notice things out of the corner of my eye, like things disappearing, the heat turning on and off by itself, the toilet flushing, lights going on and off. I saw things lift up in the air. I saw shadows, and didn't really think anything of it, and finally decided to approach my grandmother about it, and she said, well, that's because the house is haunted, and it's been like that for 50 some odd years. And I said, well, okay, well, I'm gonna go watch some of these ghost shows on oh god, what was it back then, like the Learning Channel or something?
Oh, TLC, yeah.
Yeah. And I went and picked up a little tape voice recorder and got my 50-cent disposable camera at Rite Aid and stuff, and started taking photos and taking EVPs.
You just aged yourself so much, like in that one sentence.
Yeah, yeah. And did it for years. Went places with my aunt, and my mom got my first actual really EVP at a haunted stable out in Newport, Rhode Island. Actually made my dad almost go off the road when he heard it, so that was awesome.
Nice. What did it say?
We were asking, what the spirits wanted, and I asked, do you want help to leave this place? And it was a very distinct little child, probably a boy's voice, saying, I want help. Ooh. Very class A. It was amazing. I wish I still had it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Almost go off the road. Yeah, that would make you do that.
Yeah, because he didn't really believe very much, and now he's totally a believer. So after that, kind of went to college, kind of forgot about it, and then I don't know, like Ghost Hunters came on or something, and I was like, I'm going to start my own group. So I started a Quiet Corner Paranormal #1 out in Old Thompson, Connecticut. We did several houses out there. Everybody kind of stopped because they had to go to college. They had to, we were all getting older and had to get jobs. And so I started to write about the paranormal instead, and that's how I met Ben. Was actually doing an article about PvP on the blog I used to write for, and did that for a few years, and did QCP round 2 with a couple of people I met through a mutual hobby of LARPing. And
whoa, through what?
LARPing.
What's that? Can you explain it to us?
So LARPing is an acronym for live action role playing, and what I do, and this is, I'm not going to let Ben get away with this. I met him doing this too. So
maybe.
What we do is we go to these camps over the weekends, and we dress up as a selected fictional character of some sort of fantasy genre usually, and we act out a storyline and beat the crap out of each other with duct tape weapons, and you make a lot of friendships. It's really fun, and you build great communities, and despite the stigma that it's a nerdy thing to do. I love it, and I don't care. So,
Same here.
yes. So another with QCP number 2, we all had to start working. We moved in different spots in Connecticut, so that kind of disbanded, and I was kind of just doing things off and on with my brother-in-law for the past 3 years, and started talking. How did we hook up about Cyprian Keys? I totally forgot already.
Actually, a guy who did camera work for us put out a feeler on Facebook looking for more places.
Oh, that's right, Chris. Okay,
yeah.
Hey, Chris.
Hello,
if you're
Chris.
Right there. Yes, and I said, hey, come investigate the golf club that my aunt works at, and we met there, and I said, I'd love to investigate again, and that's how I joined PvP. So.
It's actually a little more elaborate than that. Me and Sam were off somewhere investigating, and we're like, yo, Lauren does very good, and she knows her shit. We should probably nonchalantly ask her if she wants to join. And we went downstairs, and you were with Tim, and Tim's like, yo, Lauren wants to ask you a question. And you're like, are you guys hiring? Oh, yeah. So it kind of worked out.
Yes.
Yeah, it was kind of funny because I'll never forget that. She's like, you're not trying to, you guys hiring anybody? Do you need anybody? I'm like, as a matter of fact, but you're gonna want to have to talk to the co-founders. But yeah, I think you're in this book.
Yeah, I remember leaving, talking to my husband before I left the house. I was like, I wonder if they'll ask me to investigate because I really want them to.
Yep.
And we've been keeping you pretty busy, huh?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Amazing experiences, amazing locations.
We do.
Yes.
Some big stuff coming up, too. We just had a little meet-in, so that news will get to everyone soon as we finalize some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But we do have some big things planned for the summer/fall. Guys, like always, I'm going to tell you again, stop what you're doing. Get on your computers, your phones, go to the Facebook, like it. Go to YouTube, subscribe. Go to Twitter. What else do kids do nowadays? Get your fidget spinners and just put a ghost on it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Go online and look up Pioneer Valley Paranormal.
Yeah. Or People versus Paranormal.
People versus Paranormal.
We get to see our lovely faces in the dark. It's pretty rad.
The shine of my bald head when I'm looking in the dark. Lauren's got, she's actually got blonde hair in the dark, so it's kind of neat. You got to check this place out. I mean, some of the places we go to is pretty amazing. And then, of course, Lauren is gifted with taking awesome pictures. And, we've got some pretty amazing pictures through some of her stuff that she's done. And, very professional. Welcome, by the way.
Thank you.
It was great to do an investigation with you. How professional you were when, you're like, the first thing she said, she goes, wow, you guys have a lot of equipment. She's like, I don't have that much equipment.
Insurance, they're legit.
Yeah,
Handbook.
we got insurance. Yeah, so... But yeah, it was great. It's good to have a woman's side of it too, which is nice because that in the paranormal field itself is great because you might not have.
We got me, the man.
That's right.
And we got you.
Yeah, I'm the old guy, I guess, the bald old guy. The one that gets called out in every investigation. Yeah, but yeah, it was great because some of the times, that some of the investigations we might go to, it might be a female that's looking to talk to a female.
Exactly,
so,
or a child or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I won't get called out. It'll be Lauren.
For once.
Yeah. So, we just did a few big hunts. You were part of most of them. We just finished shooting season 1 of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So we did Victory Theater, not once but twice. Yeah. And your thoughts on Victory?
Victory is amazing, not only for paranormal activity, but the history of the place and the visual aspect of being in such an amazing historical location. I'm obsessed with abandoned buildings as well as ghost hunting, and I love taking pictures. And the Victory's atmosphere is utterly amazing, and thank you to the Massachusetts International Festival of the Arts for letting us come out there.
I want to give a big shout out to Kathy especially,
Yes.
who is our contact through them, and she is the greatest person. Thank you for everything you've done for the group.
Big part of our
We love
family
you.
now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, even when we were there last week, just taking photos, I swear to God, I heard a horse run by the building when you guys were out. And, I looked outside and there was nobody out there, and it sounded just like a horse.
You, Anthony, you experienced something too, like a smell, or did you hear something?
Was it a vacuum, I think?
Yeah.
It was something weird.
Something weird, yeah.
Behind the stage the entire time.
Hey, it's still cleaning the place, You never know. It's like in between shows, and
And we
it's still
heard the
vacuuming.
crash up in the
The
projector room, yeah.
Yep. So what else have we done? Cyprian Keys,
Mm-hmm.
which we got through you.
Yep.
Fun place. We touched on the history of that a little before in a previous episode, but golf course, originally part of it was built in 17 something or other.
Yeah.
in England, then shipped over here. They built onto it. Then we've done brain fart. I'm looking at my wall like I have notes, but those are totally not notes.
Yeah, I mean, we've gone to
the Tower, the Prudential Plaza.
Oh, it's an amazing place.
Plaza. We also did the house in Wheelwright.
The house in
The demon
Wheelwright.
house.
Big thanks to Brian for showing us what a
Brian's
house
a
with
man.
a demon in it is like. We'll be seeing him again soon. So if you guys want to check that out, episode 2 is on the demon house in Wheelwright, and will be up within the next week or two. It's done, except for one little video clip we're waiting on from the homeowner. So as soon as that's in, we will upload that. You can check it out. You can subscribe.
That was a crazy experience.
Yeah.
It's insane.
We had some good experiences, Lauren. That room was nuts.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, when both cameras stopped, Lauren's, I gotta go get some batteries. I'll be right back. And one of the things that we like to basically hunt by is not to be by yourself in any place. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm good. Don't worry about it. She goes down the hall, and all of a sudden I hear something running across the hall. All the lights, everything was out, no cameras, and it was a unbelievable experience. It was something that I'll never forget because of just the feeling of knowing that something's in the room with you, and you're in the complete darkness. And I'm talking darkness. You can shut your light off, and your eyes will acclimate to the darkness. My eyes couldn't acclimate. It was like something sucked all the light out of darkness, and I was lost. I couldn't even run across the hall. I mean, if I was stood up and went straight, I would have been in the highway. But I had to feel my way to get out of there because I was disoriented. But yeah, you'll have to see the episode. The episode was pretty amazing.
Oh, and I like how most of the EVPs we caught, we actually heard with our own ears in the rooms.
Yeah.
And then the ones we didn't hear were like full sentences spoken by a demonic voice.
Unbelievable. I mean, I just heard some of the stuff too. I'm
Makes you
shaking
pee a
my-
little.
Yeah. I can't wait to get back there to get called out again. That'd be interesting. At least I know what's calling me out now. I think I'll probably be a little bit more apprehensive sitting in the room by myself. Maybe not, but
Well, now we have a little idea of what we're up against. So,
yeah. What now?
so we just finished Prudential Plaza. We're taking a little time off. Oh, excuse me. We're taking a little time off to edit these videos and book the remainder of the year, season 2. So, got some big things in the work.
Yeah, I'm booking some stuff tomorrow or Sunday, I should say, on going back to the small town of Wales, which is going to be nice. Lauren's never been there; she's going to love that.
Yeah, that you blank, you're going to miss it. There's literally like a cow, a guy, and
Yeah, they just got running water.
like when Tim says we're going to investigate the town hall, the Hearst House, the library, it's all the same
That's
building.
all.
Yep, it's a shed.
Yep.
Yeah, you're like, oh, we don't. Well, let me get in the car. We got to. No, it's right there.
Yeah, it's just some crazy guy in the shed. He's like, "Come on in. This is the auto garage."
Yeah.
So, yeah, I thought for tonight, because we've been talking a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Let's talk paranormal movies.
Ooh.
Okay, so what I'm thinking is like your favorite ones. Which ones do it right? Which ones do it wrong? Which ones do you love to hate? So let's go around the room. And Tim, what's your favorite paranormal movie and why?
Wow, my favorite paranormal movie. Well, I'm an Exorcist fan. I've always scared the hell out of me. I was little when I saw it the first time, and man, when she spun her head around and shot pea soup across it was enough for me. I was like, what? No idea what was going on after that, but that was one of my favorites. I grew up, watching, Poltergeist.
Yeah.
Poltergeist was good, but I really liked the movie with Michael J. Fox.
Frighteners.
Frighteners.
One of my
I was going to say Teen
Oh
Wolf.
my God.
No. As far as that was one of my favorites.
Frighteners is an
Yeah.
amazing movie.
Great,
Yeah.
and way
One of
before
Peter
his time.
Jackson's first big budget movies too.
Wow, I didn't realize
That was
Peter
the first
Jackson.
one. Like
Yep.
that was after Bad Taste
Wow.
and Meet the Feebles. He got some money. He made that awesome movie that no one respects.
Yeah,
And then he did
phenomenal.
Lord
I
of the
love
Rings,
that
which is
movie.
like the greatest movies ever.
Yeah.
So, Anthony,
Frighteners, top number 1.
we
Literally,
talked about that a little last week.
last week. Pretty much every time I see you.
Yeah.
Older movies, they don't really do it for me. There's
Yeah.
nothing really scary about them. I mean, mostly pretty cheesy.
Because he's young.
No.
We didn't have effects back then.
I watched all the older ones. The Conjuring. Like those movies, love them.
I love The Conjuring.
And it's because it's realistic. It's not cheesy.
You never see anything either.
It's not like anything that couldn't really happen. It's pretty much everything that does happen and that you see on a day-to-day basis. And it's pretty much it. Like,
well, it also helped that the paranormal gods were part of that.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
I mean,
Lorraine and Ed Warren were the gods of paranormal activity.
Which, here's a little sad piece of information, is they've been talking about doing Conjuring 3.
Yep.
One of the rumors were that it was going to be about Satan's Harvest, which happened about 5 minutes from my house. A guy in Warren mask got possessed by the devil in the 80s, and he was the first unsanctioned exorcist by the church.
Yeah.
And Ed and Lorraine were part of that. And this guy wrote a book called The Demonologist.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of reading it now. Yeah. And he made a deal when he wrote it with them that he had the rights to all the stories in it.
Yeah.
And I think it's Universal. Are they the ones that doing the Conjuring movies?
I think so.
I don't know.
Well, whoever it is, they put out the first two, and this guy is now suing them, saying, I own the rights to those. And they're like, well, it's based on fact. Like, you can't own rights to fact. And he goes, okay, prove ghost exists. So now they're in a halt until they can prove that ghosts are a real thing.
Oh, there's
It's like, dude, seriously, all you got to do is go to PioneerValleyParanormal.com, and you got all the proof in your name.
That's it. There's no fakery.
But, yeah, so hopefully that will get made. I'd like to see anything else with them. Like, they had a lot of great stories, a lot of cases. You know, they did thousands of things over the years. So, Lauren, favorite paranormal movie?
By far, Insidious. Love that movie
Insidious.
so much. I could watch it. I've seen it like 50 times. And I
love
still
the
jump at
cameo
every.
by Darth Maul.
Oh, God, yes.
I remember you were explaining that before I even saw the movie. I was like, "Are you serious?"
Yeah.
And then I saw it. I was like, "It was actually pretty creepy."
Yeah, the whole scene. My favorite scene, absolutely, in a movie is when the guy's walking through the further and you see the family in the living room. And that just scared the hell out of me. Like,
one of the things I like about it too is like the first one's a good movie. You watch the second one where it ties things in.
Yeah.
Where, like this happened because of that. You're like, no shit. And then the third one, even you're like, okay, everything makes sense now.
Yeah.
Like, I remember watching the first two. You're like,
together.
why is that happening? That makes no sense. And you find out like it's a lady playing a piano or
That's
was
why
it a guy playing.
Yeah.
It was a guy playing piano.
Yeah.
That's why the older movies, they have a lot to them, but they don't really have any information to them.
Yeah.
It's more on entertainment and scare factor. While the newer ones, I think it presents a lot more information of what possibly could be. So it's not that like the older ones are bad, but is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you my favorite paranormal movie, and I remember watching this every day when I was a kid, and I was like 5-6 years old. We had it on. My mom got a bootleg on a VHS that had like Sharpie written on it. It said, you know, The Poltergeist, and I love that movie. Like when the spirits come down the stairs, or like the mist that's like forming. Like I'm like, that's how ghosts should look. It's not like these guys in sheets.
Yep.
And I know, just like every little thing, like they got to everyone's individual fears. Like, you know, the clown in the tree for the kid. Like they took the daughter away from the mother. She was like the light to bring the spirits. And some cool facts about Poltergeist is all the corpses in the swimming pool are actual corpses.
What?
Really?
Because it costs more money to rent fake ones than to use medical grade cadavers.
Oh, she was in
So-
the water with them.
with
That's
all those dead
awful.
And
Oh.
are you guys
I didn't
familiar
even
with the
think of that.
Poltergeist curse?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. There's
Yes.
a good documentary that he did, true Hollywood story, the Poltergeist curse. Are you familiar, Anthony? You look a little.
Doesn't sound familiar now.
So supposedly the movies are cursed, like filming them.
Yeah.
They filmed the first one. There was fires on set. It's like light rigs fell on people. The girl who played the older sister was murdered by her boyfriend as soon as the movie finished. I think a stagehand died. They filmed the second one. The old guy, he ended up dying. He had like cancer, I think. Anyways, that's why they hired him. He looked like shit. Sorry, dude. I don't get that. He looked death.
Yeah.
He looked like death.
Oh yeah.
And then the third one, Carol Ann died after filming that because of mixed things, but I think it was like a complication of Crohn's disease or something with her heart. But like, if you look into the history of it, so much stuff has happened on the sets or to the people involved.
Well, you can actually go back to The Exorcist. The Exorcist, the
Same thing, yeah. They had
Same
that
thing.
set blessed so many times.
Yep. Okay, now we can go to a local one, Satan's Harvest.
Okay.
The priests some of the cops that were involved, the police that were involved there, ended up dying. There was 3 or 4 deaths that were related to that case.
Yep.
And once again, we're talking paranormal and stuff that happens. You never know, attachments and stuff like that. It could have been anything, but yeah, I mean, some of the things like with movies that you look at, especially paranormal stuff. I'm gonna date myself. Sorry, go back a little bit, but one of my favorite movies that didn't, I mean, it was kind of paranormal, but it wasn't, was a silent movie. One of my most favorite, and it was Nosferatu.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Nosferatu is actually being remade,
Yeah.
and they're supposed to be doing really good justice to it. But the thing is how do you do that? And
Count
where
Orlok,
it's-
good. You better not screw him up.
Yeah.
He's one of the most influential makeups in cinema history.
Yeah.
And it's funny because my son's 21, and about 4 or 5 years ago I got that movie and I watched it. He's like, "This is the stupidest movie I ever seen in my life." I'm like,
No way.
"You don't quite understand." He's like,
All
"Dad,
those
it
old
doesn't
black and
say
white
anything."
ones.
I'm like, you don't understand. It's but yeah, that Nosferatu was phenomenal.
That was
He
a good
came
one.
through the floor,
Yeah.
tripped through the floor, and she's screaming in the bed. It was nuts. It was
so
good.
many good movies.
Salem's Lot was good.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Salem's Lot was really good. It was well done. Stephen King, of course. I'm trying to think if there's a couple more of that. But let's get to the newer ones. Did not really like Paranormal Activity much.
I like the first
I
one.
like
wanted
the
to talk about the
hauntings.
first
Yeah.
one.
I like the
Choose-
hauntings.
Yeah.
choose to watch
But
it.
there was multiple hauntings in one.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? They put a poltergeist, they put a demonic, they put it all into one haunting.
Well, here's the thing with the first one. First movie of its kind.
Yeah.
They did a lot of jump scares. It was
Yeah.
home security camera footage.
Love the dragging out of the bed.
Whole
Skip
movie,
out, yeah.
fantastic until the end.
Yeah.
Like when she gets possessed.
Yeah.
Like there's other endings which are better. Like
Mhm.
I wish they would have, when
Mhm.
she got possessed and like, I think the one of them she like blows her brains out or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, she kills herself.
But like the cabinets opening, the sounds, like all that stuff, awesome.
Yeah.
Second one, they're like, hey, we can make a shitload of fucking money
Mhm.
Yep.
doing these movies, and it cost us nothing.
Right.
And then they just did more crap. And then the third one, they're like, oh, now we can do computers and phones. And then the fourth one, they're like, hey, look at this. I put a white sheet over my turd. It's a ghost.
Right. Oh yeah. And it looked like a turd. The first one, I must say the same thing. When I first saw it, they were like, "Oh, based on a true story." Blah blah blah.
Kind of
blah,
like the
blah.
Blair Witch Project.
And then when I
Yeah.
watched it, I was like, "Holy crap!" When I saw, he did bed and they had the video camera set up, and I was like, "Wow, holy crap! This is great.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be awesome." And then the door would open a little, and go,
Yep.
and then they wouldn't notice it. Then it would go.
Because
to
that's the
a
type
couple
of
days
stuff that
later with
happens
the
on
camera,
Paranormal Hunts.
which was good. And then when they pull the blankets off, that type of thing, which you have to go to our website. We did capture a blanket being pulled off. But anyways, that was pretty awesome. I was like, holy crap, scared the hell out of me, because, not everybody wants to have stuff like that happen and not know about it. And then they watched it. They watched the video of that happening and they slept in the bed that night.
Yeah.
And going, I don't know if I probably wouldn't do that. But
Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing. Like, any normal person would see that and be like, yo, fucking burn the house down.
Oh, yeah.
Really.
Us, I'd be like, yo, I need a K2. I need a camera. I got to get the team up here. Be like, sleep over at my house. Let's go.
We're all sleeping in the same room. What? Yeah, they're gonna pull stuff out of the bed.
Yeah.
But yeah, when it dragged her out of bed and down the hallway, that was awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That was an awesome guttural sense. But like you said, once you got into it and you watch it, the ending was just, and then they just messed up on everything. It should have kept to the original, premise. Of
I watched one
how
of the
it
latest one where it was like 2 girls in a
Oh.
room with like a portal to another realm or something. I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
No, it gets to be too much.
Then you do get the good ones like the Conjuring movies,
Yep.
which were awesome.
Yep.
It's funny, the good ones are the ones based on truth.
Yeah.
Right. Amityville. I thought the original Amityville
Amityville,
was good.
amazing.
Yeah,
The
did you like the new
sequels
ones?
Sucked.
Yeah.
Nah,
The remake with Ryan
was
Reynolds
not bad.
was
It
okay.
was not bad.
The original one, though, really
Yes.
good. But then sometimes, I got to take that back, actually, because they did A Haunted in Connecticut, based on a true story. I think it was Discovery Channel, TLC, they did a special on
Yep,
it.
yep.
That one was dead on with what happened.
Absolutely.
So, New Line or whoever was like, yeah, that's a cool idea, but how about this? We just throw that away and start over, and we just call it A Haunted in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Like, if we could have Godzilla in there, it'd be awesome.
Yeah, that's typical.
Spuds McKenzie.
It's all about entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay
It is.
Puft Marshmallow Man.
But the thing is it about entertainment, or is it because people are just not easily entertained? Like, they're bored too easily? Like they don't want to stay with the story? Like,
well, with the stuff that goes on, like people want big and better things, and if it's not like mainstream or huge, no one's gonna care basically.
I think honestly, I like The Conjuring 2 better than the first one, with the nun and everything. It was funny because I had watched the DVD and was terrified for the 2 hours that I watched it, and then we went to a haunted trail around Halloween in Wallingford, Connecticut, and the first walkthrough was actually a thing from The Conjuring 2, and the nun chased me out of the building, and I was like, this is too much. I can't do this. Yeah.
Nice.
So.
aren't they making a movie based on the nun now? I saw a
I think so,
trailer.
yeah,
Is that
yeah.
real or is that a fake one?
We watched it the other day.
Yeah, that's real?
Terrible looking.
Okay.
The trailer was terrible.
Yeah, that's
And
like
there's Annabelle coming out.
Annabelle 2 is coming
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Annabelle was scary.
The first
Was
one was
it?
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first one was really good.
Yeah.
You didn't see it?
is that the one in like the 70s or whatever?
Yeah, it was in the
Partially, I
70s,
think,
and
yeah.
think this one's before that.
Or did I watch Annabelle 2? No, Annabelle 2 I watched.
No,
No,
the second one's not out yet.
I watched one there.
What's the first one? It takes place in the 70s.
Yeah, I thought that was horrible.
That wasn't that
Really?
bad.
Yeah.
I scared the hell out
It
of me.
wasn't what they made it seem, but it
Yeah.
was not bad at all.
Maybe it's because like I'm a big fan of the Warrens, and I know like Annabelle is just a
Raggedy
Raggedy
Ann.
doll that
Yeah.
like, someone
Raggedy
got.
Ann
Like
doll.
there's no history to it.
No,
Like,
no. And kind of the movie Annabelle, the story's a little bit different than what you see in The Conjuring.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, the thing too is, who's going to pay money to go to the movies to watch a Raggedy Ann doll do the stuff that Annabelle did?
Dude, I did it
And-
with Chucky in the 80s.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but still, Chucky. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying. But with Raggedy Ann doll, I mean, I think when we were kids, my parents had 2 of those.
Yeah.
And you don't think about it, and you watch The Conjuring, and someone's like, "Oh my God, I couldn't imagine owning that." I'm like, but it's not the real thing. But yeah, I just like I said, they to do stuff and they make it bigger than it actually is. Like Annabelle, I liked it, but I didn't. It was hard to keep, focus on.
Yeah. I just watched. I was on a kick. Like I was on my Fire Stick, and I was like, "Oh, the horror section," and I was like, "They have everything." So I watched like The Conjurings, The Insidious, like all those, and then I'm like, "Oh, Ouija." Have you seen the Ouija movie?
Mm-hmm.
Heard
I
it
have.
was okay.
It's okay, like
Yes.
in a weird way. Like it's not that bad of a movie.
Yeah. I saw it in the movie theater. It was
Not bad for a
Lights Out.
board game.
Have you seen that?
Lights Out was good.
No, I haven't
That
seen
was a
that.
great one. It was better than what I thought it was going to be, actually.
Very
You
good.
was it you that said The Boy was good?
The boy was pretty decent.
Yeah, it was
yes.
creepy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It wasn't what you would expect once again.
Mhm.
Same with, there's another one where a girl goes back home and there's a guy in the walls and stuff. It's pretty similar to The Boy.
Oh, was that the one? It's on Netflix, isn't
It's
it?
on Netflix,
Yeah,
yeah.
I just
Ah.
watched that last week. I can't remember the name of it though.
I can't remember the name of it either.
Within, I think it's Within. Isn't that it?
That or like The Attic or
Something like
something
that.
weird.
Speaking of people living in the walls,
Oh,
not very
God.
paranormal. People Under the Stairs.
Yeah.
One of my
Mm.
all-time favorite movies. Roach, the guy with no tongue, he's like,
Oh.
ah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that movie.
That
Like,
was crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, can you imagine buying a house and having people in the walls?
Ah.
Yeah.
So, there's actually a few movies based on paranormal investigations. I believe I know I showed Tim. I don't know if I showed Anthony, and I don't know if you've seen it, Lauren, but Grave Encounters.
I think I've heard of
It's
it.
on Netflix. It involves a ghost hunting team shooting a TV show.
Yes,
Lance
yes.
Oh, yeah,
Preston.
yeah.
Yes, you did show
First
me.
movie is fan-fucking-tastic until the end.
Yeah.
But I can look over the ending. Such a good fucking movie. Like, all these, like, it's the typical TV guys, like,
Hey,
cool location, big
you want us
scares.
to tell us about this? No, not really.
Yeah, yeah. The Mexican gardener
Oh,
is
yes.
the best
That's
scene
one
in
with
the world.
With a terrible girl.
Hold on. Okay, if I give you some money, can you do that? Oh yeah, there's something scary in there.
I saw a ghost. It's really scary. All right, so
It
you
was
at
over
home,
there.
what you need to do right now is pause your podcast, go on YouTube, and look up Grave Encounters Gardener.
Oh man!
And
that
when
was
you were
so
done
funny.
dissing yourself because you were laughing so hard, you can come back here and then go watch the whole movie afterwards. So they made a sequel to that movie. Kind of sucked hardcore. Like, I can't even describe. Like, totally different feel. They try to do the lost footage type thing with phones. Like, I think technology is killing all these, like,
Yep.
the real scare. Because there's nothing to scare you anymore. Because, oh, there's a bear about a mile away. Let me just call an Uber and I'll be right back. Like,
Yeah.
you know, your phone's going to get you out of everything. But I just saw one on Netflix. My dad was like, "Oh, check out this movie. You'll like it. It's a ghost hunter just like you." And it was. I showed you the trailer. It was. I think it was Australian made, where they're in the house.
Is that
It was
the one
called
with the girl
The Dead Room.
I think that was the one that. I don't know, the green room.
The Green Room. The Green
Oh, we
Room.
found
Isn't
one.
the green one about like the the girls go see the band or
Yeah,
something?
that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay, no, it was called the Dead Room then. So
Yes.
it's this chick who was a medium, a guy who was a ghost investigative reporter, hunter dude. Like I don't know
Yeah.
exactly what his deal is,
Mm.
and a skeptic. And there was a homeowner's insurance claim saying that they had to leave the house because it's haunted, and they want money for their house. So they hired these guys to go in there and find it. And it's kind of cool seeing people using gear in a horrible, shitty fucking environment with a bad storyline going on around it. Like, give it a watch. It's not horrible. Like, I watched it all the way through, which says a lot for me. I might have a few beers one night, watch it again.
Mm.
But, weird twist ending. Yeah, it's just one of those weird things, so check it out. But it's kind of cool. Like, Poltergeist, I think, was the first official movie with paranormal investigators.
Mhm. Yep.
And they had, like, their big 8-track reel-to-reel players, and, like,
Probably weighed like
Boom
150
mics.
pounds.
their monitors are, like, 300 pounds each. So,
Yeah.
like, yeah, this is a 2-inch black and white screen. Check it out.
It's an Apple. It's an early Apple. That worth $1 million now.
Yeah.
Wasn't there another movie too that was really popular in the 70s? It was like The Entity or something.
Oh, The Entity. Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that. That was cool. That was
Yeah.
a good movie. That was a good movie. She actually had a major possession. The Entity was actually really cool. That was one of my favorite.
Yeah.
I used to rewind it because it was VHS. I used to rewind it and play it over and rewind and go, "Did that really just happen?" You know?
Yeah.
And that was pretty realistic.
Wasn't the fog? I think that was about ghosts.
Fog's coming. Or did they do a remake?
They did a remake.
Okay.
It was
They're-
terrible.
They're
Yeah.
doing a miniseries of The Mist now.
That's,
Yeah.
that's what it
Yeah.
missed as well, yes.
Was that a Stephen King?
Yeah, because the
Yeah, I
fog,
think it
the
was.
fog was about like, wasn't it like ghost pirates in the mist or
yeah,
something?
yeah,
Yeah.
In a town or something really weird.
Ghost Pirates. in
The
Mist.
'80s
It
had
wasn't terrible,
such
though.
fantastic horror movies. They really did. Like ghoulies. Like, do you know
Yeah.
what a ghoulie is?
Yeah.
It's just like a little green or brown gremlin that like they'll come out of your toilets and bite you in
Oh,
the
yeah.
ass.
That was the
Yes.
funniest thing.
Okay, yes.
I remember
Yes.
being in the movie stores.
Yes.
All right, so kids, when I was a child, we had these things called video stores where you would walk in and it'd be like a supermarket, but instead of bags of chips, there was movies on the walls.
But there was bag of chips too.
Yeah. And
How
what
much?
you would do is you would take this giant clunky brick that actually had a movie on it, and you would give them like $2, and you could use it for 24 hours. And if it was late, they wanted $2 more. And if you didn't rewind it, because we had to like actually rewind our
Be
movies,
kind, rewind.
you had to give them another $1. So a movie could cost you like $5 back in the day, which was a lot in the '80s.
Yeah.
But I remember just walking through the horror section, and like as a kid, I didn't want to look, but at the same time, I had to look, and I'm like, remember the Ghoulies cover because it has the little green Muppet thing coming out of the toilet, like the Blob. Like there were so many good covers
Yeah.
of horror movies.
Yeah. It was
Evil Dead. We had the first Evil Dead growing up, and I remember
That
it was
was
like
amazing.
the lady being pulled into the ground.
Yep.
Mhm.
Ah,
I like the cabin scene
yep.
with the demon in the basement. You know, when you walk into a place like that, that's what I didn't understand. They walk in and they see this trap door, and it's got a lock on it, and they're like, "Oh, let's unlock it and see what's down there." How about no?
Yeah.
How about it's locked for a reason? There's probably something down there locked in there. Oh, let's just go down and look around. Yeah, that worked out well. You know, the poor girl, she had to get pulled down there. They're like, "Oh, don't worry, lock her in there. It's okay." You know, so much for her vacation.
Yeah.
But I got to get back to The Conjuring. One of the scariest things I've seen recently was when that demon jumped off the
Off the dresser.
dresser.
Top,
Yeah.
Still
Cabinet.
gives me goosebumps to this day. It jumped off the dresser onto. I was like, "Oh man."
Oh, for me, like I'm a big fan of not seeing what's there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
one of the scariest parts is when she's looking behind the door
In the
and her
corner.
sister wakes up and
Yeah.
she's crying her eyes. She is terrified.
Yeah.
And she's like, "It's right there." And you're looking. You're like,
Where's it?
"I'm putting my contrast up on my TV. I don't see it. Where the fuck? Where is it?" And then you're scared.
Yeah.
And then they just fucking scream. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like that's the shit that gets me. Like.
And that's when the door got slammed. They got locked in the bedroom.
Yeah, like you put a guy in a rubber suit or some makeup. Yeah, it looks cool as shit, but it's not scary.
Mhm.
I know it's a guy in a rubber suit. Like
Yep.
when you don't see the thing.
Yeah.
The Messengers was pretty similar to that. They had people coming out of the ceiling, coming out of the floor, in the bed.
That was cool.
They pulled the sheet up, and then the feet were hanging out of the end of the sheet.
Yeah, that was
What
good.
about another good paranormal movie? Had a decent twist ending. The Others.
The Others
Ooh,
was good.
one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I love that movie.
Yep, The Others was good. Yeah, actually, that I forgot about that movie.
If you're going to talk about that, Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense.
Ooh,
So,
yes,
another
good.
one.
I See Dead People.
I think that was like for me growing up, not really the most iconic, but like the biggest thing out there for paranormal stuff.
It was great to watch that little boy driving. They're driving down the street, and he's seeing dead people as he's looking out the window.
Yep.
That was cool. It was well written.
Remember that came out, and then you saw it, and you're like, "This movie is fucking great."
Yeah.
This M. Night Shyamalan guy is going to be a fucking genius. Yeah. And then, like, I'm still waiting. I just watched the one with the multiple personalities there.
Oh, Split.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
Everyone said that. I fucking hated that movie. I'm like, this is so boring. Like, do something. Like, I want to know more about these personalities.
No,
like,
that was great.
They're more there for flavor. Like,
I liked it.
Like he does a fucking great little kid though. Like,
He does.
Yeah, hilarious.
Yeah, he did awesome. Yeah, the multiple personalities was phenomenal. And you know, if he doesn't win some sort of major award for that because he changed so quickly in multiple places.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, as an actor, that's amazing.
Yep.
You know, to be able to switch gears like that, and it was on command. Okay, boom, now I'm a little boy.
You're a dude playing a dude playing another dude.
Yeah.
Isn't that the guy that played Mr. Tumnus in like Chronicles of Narnia or something?
Professor X.
Professor
Oh my!
X as well.
I had the biggest crush on him. I have to see this movie.
It's pretty.
He's
It's
never really been in a
it's
bad
alright.
movie.
Yeah.
Actually.
yeah, he does good stuff.
What about Japanese horror movies? Now those are
I tried watching the original Grudges.
yeah.
Oh my god! Like,
The remakes of Japanese movies are kind of better in a way.
yeah, because we don't do the cheesy fucking makeup
No,
on our little
yeah.
kid actors.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, they dunk this kid in white paint and he just runs in front of the camera and goes, "Boo! My nephew does that shit every day." Like, seriously, like I lived the Grudge.
The rings were pretty creepy back then.
I think that kind of started everything, and it just I don't know if it got less scary or
It's like they got these ideas because a lot of their stuff's based on folklore that
yeah,
they have.
yeah.
But like,
In the forest. Speaking
Yeah.
of
the Suicide Forest,
Egigara,
I would love
yeah.
to investigate.
Oh
that.
hell yeah!
No one has, as
That
far as
place
I
would be
know.
awesome.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, we
Okay.
talked about it last week, I think.
What's-
Um,
I can't remember what the name.
Aoki Gahara or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Check
that's a
that
true
out.
place. That's
Yep.
many people, hundreds of people went there to commit suicide. You know, and it's a well-known, documented place, and they have actual documented proof of hauntings in there. You know, but people are so scared to not go in there. Hey, I say road trip.
Yeah. Well,
Good.
we make it to the ocean.
Yeah. Fly.
But yeah, Japanese, they have their horror movies. I'm not that big of a fan. Well, they're supernatural movies, I should say. Like their zombie movies, I love.
Yep.
Biozombie, one of the greatest zombie movies ever made. Tokyo Zombie's pretty good.
Yep.
Like their monster movies, I don't even know what genre. Like they're fucked up thriller dramas, or
Yeah.
like Itchy the Killer, stuff like that. Like those are all great. I don't know. A lot of their monster costumes are just so lame.
Didn't they have one where there was a Japanese girl living in an apartment and it was haunted or something? And it was at first I thought it was good, so I had to get through the subtexts and see what she was saying. And of course, you know, she'd be talking, and then a few minutes later she'd stop talking, and then English would come up, and I'm going, how am I going to follow this? What's going on? But once it got to seeing the actual spirit that was there, it was the worst thing I'd ever seen. I went, what? I mean, it was like a workup. You're like, all right, maybe this would actually be a really good movie. And then all of a sudden, they show this ghost, and it looked like just a woman in white makeup. And I'm going, no, don't.
That's
do
how
this.
they see their ghost over there. I guess it's just pale faces,
Pale face.
black around the eyes. Which if you see like old Japanese artwork, some of the craziest shit, like their demons, their spirits, their monsters, really cool. But like apparently they just don't see the transition from like how do they even look at their artwork of these monsters and then put the makeup on and go, oh dude, perfect, just like it.
No, don't do it. Go to the original artwork, because the original artwork is very scary in itself. Never mind, anything else. So, what about where is the place that you were going to go to in a couple days? What is it?
Oh, the Bridgewater Triangle.
Yeah.
Sure, most of the
Have you been
paranormal
there before?
I have not. It's one of the few places in New England I haven't traveled to.
I say we go.
I mean, we got UFOs up there and Bigfoot. And
Well, Ronald Reagan, was it Ronald Reagan that saw a UFO
I
right
think
off
so.
a point?
Yep.
He was flying on a jet, and actually was a documented UFO sighting. He actually called and said, "I just saw a UFO. There was something going on and strange lights in the sky." And
Oh, we didn't ask Lauren. What other paranormal things do you believe in? Aliens, Bigfoot, all that stuff?
So, my mother, God rest her soul, was very much convinced that when we were living in Woodstock, Connecticut, that she was communicating nightly with Bigfoot.
Oh.
We actually had the folks from that show. What the hell is that?
Catching Bigfoot?
Finding Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Finding Bigfoot. They wrote to her and were actually going to come out to our house. Some sort of drama happened. They did not. But I am a firm believer in Bigfoot. I would not probably go chase around the forest. And I do believe in UFOs as well, because we can't be the only intelligent life out there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's what we were saying last week. It's like definite.
And sea monsters and all that stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Loch Ness.
Yep.
Loch Ness.
And fairies. I believe in fairies.
Mhm.
Actually, I do.
Of course.
I leave treats for them, and I've seen magic happen. But as you laugh, I'm being totally honest. Like,
Wow.
they're little woodland creatures. Like they're
nymphs.
yeah, like little fairies.
Yeah.
They're spirits of the forest. You know, I do leave them treats. I've seen some. I left some red wine out one night, and it turned yellow, like instantly overnight.
Like this.
No, like lemonade. It looked like watered down
That's
lemonade.
pretty neat.
Yeah,
Maybe they
and
drank
it was
it
like a
and eat it.
heavy red. You know?
So,
And
it was fairy.
I left like some cake out too, and the cake was gone. So
Was it in the woods?
no, I live in the ghetto, dude. So it was either a
Oh.
crackhead or
raccoon.
no. I actually lived
And it was yellow.
down
I
that
don't
way
know.
somewhere.
Nice.
So no, I've seen photos of them. Like they're super hard to see. They don't want to be seen. Like kind of like Bigfoot and stuff like that. But don't pick on me, man.
Well, you know, hey, we've all seen some strange things. You know, I mean, especially ghosts.
Yeah.
I mean, we see a lot of stuff, or we don't see a lot of stuff, and then all of a sudden it's there, and you're going, I was like 2 feet away from that whole full body apparition in that house in Spencer, standing right there, and didn't see it.
Or how about the evidence we're watching of the
Oh yeah,
tower where we were all in the room and we panned and there was an apparition walking by and none of us saw it.
Nope.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, but then if it said, "Hey guys, I'm right here," we turned around and saw it. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's but some of the evidence we're finding, what I've noticed too, is our group seems like we find something every time. Or we do, or we
Because
don't.
we're open to it. You have to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, calls my name probably because of the way I talk.
So let me ask you all a question. I've actually been wanting to ask this for a while and I never have. What's your favorite piece of equipment to use? I know Anthony's his camera because that's the only one he's allowed to touch.
Honestly, EVP recorder. I like the recorder because you get it's instant evidence.
Yeah.
For old school stuff, that was one of my favorite. For a new, I really, really like our new camera that we got. That's I can't even think of it.
Thermal?
The thermal.
Yeah.
I like the thermal.
The one with all the colors there.
Because the first time you had the thermal, we saw the cat prints,
Yeah.
and I was hooked.
Yeah.
I was hooked. There was no cat in the house. There was nothing there, and it was just
And
like
they were ice cold. There's definitely a dead cat in there.
and I've seen thermal like fire department and stuff. I've seen that happen, hot spots, that type of thing. But when it actually had, we just pointed it on the floor and like, what is that? What is that on it? And Sam goes, "Does she own a cat?" And I'm like, "But they're blue."
Yep.
I'm like, is there a dead cat? I mean, what's going on? But it was the 4, and then it became 8, and then it walked out the door.
Yep, we watched them up here. So, Anthony, you don't really use equipment?
Nope.
But as far as, like, evidence and stuff you've seen, what would you say is your favorite?
Probably have to go with Tim with the thermal.
Thermal?
Yeah.
Another thermal. Lauren?
Well, photo camera, DSLR camera.
I was going to say, you're a little shutterbug.
Yeah, I think everybody has their specific piece of evidence that they're good at getting, and photos are my thing.
Yep.
So.
We should get you a night vision filter if we can for that.
Yeah, I can get one of those, yeah.
That'd be sweet. Also, I mean, really not equipment itself, but the flashlight. I like the flashlight experiment. And been pretty good, getting evidence with that. Thermal's phenomenal, though. You can't deny it. There's it's right there, visual for you to see, and you can't deny it. So that's. What about you?
Me, I'm going to be super cheesy. My favorite piece of equipment, yourself.
Ooh.
Because your emotions, your goosebumps, your smells, your ears. Like, we're number one. As far as gadgets, it's tied between two. One, you've already said, the EVP recorder, because that's old school. That's been proven to work. It's been working since day one. Two, night vision cameras. Because then that we can see every other piece of equipment being used. We can see apparitions. We can see orbs. We can see smoke. Without those two, that's your two big ones right there, your sight and your sound. So, as far as the rest, I love them all. There's some that I'm still iffy on. Like, I like the thermal too. K2s and EMFs they're cool. They do their job, but it's not as exciting and compelling. Like, be like, look at this thing just had the number 2 on it. It means a ghost. Whereas if you go, look at this video, look at that ghost. People are like, that's a ghost.
Yeah, right.
It's easier to comprehend when you can see. But I don't know. I'm excited for the way technology is going. We've been playing with a lot of new gear. We've had a lot of fucking bombs. Like our little Matt, what a piece of shit. We were like, yes, it's cool, it's working. No, it's got a fucking time delayed circuit on it.
We were so psyched with that. We spent a half hour.
Yeah, that's like an hour of footage we can't use on a web show.
But you live and you learn. I mean,
we've been playing with the Portal app, which we've had some good luck. I know some people are skeptical. I think the thing with that is you got to learn how to listen properly to it. Not every sound that comes out is a voice. Right. And then I just purchased the SCD2, made by the same company, by Steve Huff of Huff Paranormal. Steve, if you're out there, I emailed you. You should totally come on this podcast.
Absolutely.
I've been using that one. It's for computers only, or if you have like one of those like computerized tablets, I don't even know what they're actually called, but you need Windows, I think, to operate it. And it's the Portal. It's the Wonder Box, pretty much. It's the Portal with all the pedals. He built it into this machine. And we played a little bit with it in the basement of Victory. Still learning it, but like I've seen other people use it. Fantastic result. So, I mean, the thing about equipment is like seeing it all on TV is, all these guys are coming out saying, I can try this, I can try that. And these are guys that have like engineering degrees or, computer degrees. And now before it was like, I have a tape recorder. It was over here. I picked it up. It worked. Now these guys are like, what if I did this so I can do this? And I think in the next few years we're going to see a lot of big advances. I'm still waiting for that thing that just lights up the spirit world and like turn it on in your house and you're like, wow, there's 30 guys here just playing pool for some reason. I don't have a pool table. What's up with that?
Right.
But like, I don't know if we'll see that in our lifetime, but I think we will see some really cool things. Some things that will make a lot of non-believers into believers. And I can't wait for those days. And I hope we're one of the guys that can do that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I think I'd like this to do also is I'd like to implement a lot of trigger objects. Like, we go
Mark Grid of Victory.
Yeah,
I really think we should be dressed up like golfers at the golf course.
Yeah,
like Caddyshack style.
Nice. That would have been nice. Yeah, I probably would have been a gopher or something, after what you did to me at Victory.
So, if our little tour goes right, we're going to need some prison suits, some straight jackets, and some rags, I guess.
Rags, yeah.
So, stay tuned to our YouTube to find out what we're talking about. So,
we actually went on a tangent.
Yeah, we're doing all right.
We covered a lot.
48 minutes or so here. It's just the 4 of us, and I don't think anyone else was supposed to show up. No one
sure.
For safety tips. Did we have safety tips today?
My balls this time.
Yeah, maybe he's tired.
Safety tips, yeah. I think there's somebody that's supposed to come up on there. No, I think so. What kind of safety
no, with this setup, it's going to be a little hard.
Yeah.
So we'll figure it out.
All right.
I was going to try to surprise everyone and give Sam a little call, but our 4-channel track thing won't handle a 5th input. So we'll talk to him in the future. I know he's working like crazy. He says doing 12 to 14 hours a day, not sleeping. He's up on a roof every day. He's loving life, though. So, Sam, if you're listening to this in the next month or so when you have a day off, we love you. We miss you. Sucks not having you hunting with us. But remember to be safe up on those roofs. Hey, Sam. Mr. Boo here. Just reminding you, always wear a harness. You don't want to fall off and look like a yo-yo. God damn it, Mr. Boo.
Yeah, right? Don't want to look back like a yo-yo.
Try to figure out a way to segue that bastard in here. So, yeah, we're about 48 minutes in, so we talked about some good stuff. So why don't we sign off for tonight? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for joining us on another episode of People vs. Paranormal. As always, I'm Ben.
I'm Tim.
I'm Anthony.
I'm Lauren. Rest in peace.